Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with you. Ooh, I have to adjust where this goes, so I'm going to move that up there, put that up top. Jam just threw the Bear Cave emote in the chat and the Lego emote. I'm going to reply with those. If you're currently a subscriber, you can say that. Hello, Jam. That way I get to know you're here. I did not, before the stream started, move my pillows from my bed there. I usually move those over so that they're not in shot, but that's okay. I could do. Now they're not in shot. Haha, I did it. Dirty just redeemed for the gong. We haven't had the gong in a while. Hi, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. We haven't had a gong cash in a bit, so we'll start off this stream with a gong. Okay, here we go. And all right, we hit a gong. Yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to be automatic or not, but I keep having to manually. I don't care about the. I keep having to manually turn on. Yes, start it off right. Turn on closed captioning. So I don't know if that's supposed to just be automatic or what, but I have to go in and turn it on. So now I'm doing that as part of my whole doing this thing. But it's nice to have because you know. It's good to be as welcoming as we can to folks. And if having the closed captioning at the top of the screen is helpful to people, then that's great. I would like to do that. It's not a hard thing to do. Dude Wants His Rug is here. Hi, Dude Wants His Rug. So, we're working on the Dijeh tonight. We're going to get this party started right with the Dijeh. Hey, Mr. Dijeh, why do you have butterfly wings? It's a unique design, especially for the Zeta era. I think this is a unique kit. But we've done, the head. There's part of the head we didn't do yet. That there's the headpiece goes into the back here. There's a thing, so we'll do that when we assemble it completely. But we put the arms on, so we got that. We got the. This is a shield. It's probably one of the smallest shields, because it just looks like our regular armor, but it's considered the shield, and it's got the weird and side antenna spike things. This is a strange mishmash of colors. I enjoy it. I bought this kit sometime last year, and it just would never win a poll. My $10 patrons get to vote on what I work on for my backlog, or if I have multiple things. Turn the record on. Yeah. Hey, Mr. DJ. I don't know. Turn the record on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody. With my baby? I don't know. Whatever. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, my $10 patrons voted today about what I'm building next, and I thought I had you, $10 patrons. I thought for sure that you were going to vote for the Lego set that is a plane, a spaceship, and a robot. But instead, you were like, no, build the kit from Gundam Build Divers that has cool swords. So you're not wrong, but that's the next kit. We're going to work on Ogre's GNX, which is fun because it's got that GN drive. So it's already a weird kit that I enjoy all the GN drive kits, but it's got cool swords. So we'll be building that next because I don't think it's going to take long to finish this up. And we got to do the legs and the feet and the waist, and then there's some weapons. So we might not start the ogre until Saturday, but I think we will finish this up tonight. I have a feeling. This is the pre-show portion, the intro portion. You know that. We're just waiting for a few more folks to join us. I had a big turnout last night for Pat Baer's Anime Club. A few regulars, which is always nice. Some of the friends that come in for anime talk, they're looking to come in at that time, which is great. And then we got raided really early on with a bunch of people that were just like psyched up for anime talk and kind of stuck with us. And then right at the end of the stream, we got a second raid by my friend Ian, which was fun. Hey, Girly Buttercup, welcome. GBC, happy to have you here live. And yeah, welcome. We're gonna build a cool kit and talk about stuff. I only have a little bit that I know I want to talk about tonight, but I'm gonna retweet. We're gonna go to the overhead, and then we're gonna get to build it. Thursday's usually big for me here, numbers wise, but hopefully some people will join us. And if not, if it's a chill stream, then it's a chill stream. I don't mind it. Like I said, last night was genuinely really delightful. The people, yeah. And Ian came in towards the end today with another raid, with a small one. But I'm hoping that some people that came here on the raid from Joe Kim decided to come back. I hope they do. Some people followed, and it was nice to have an audience that was excited to talk about anime stuff, because I know there's some folks that are really into it, and I know that some folks aren't really into it, but you are happy that I'm happy about it, and I always appreciate that very much. So when the second hour rolls around, some of y'all are like, okay, well, you're here. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. We're going to work on the Dijeh. Now, there's been some discussion about, is it pronounced Dijeh? I always pronounce it as Dijeh when I saw it in magazines. But it seems to be the Dijeh is spelled, or is pronounced DJ. So we're going to go with that. I will let you in on a little behind the scenes, a little peek behind the curtain, a parting of the kimono, if you will. A thing that I do before I build a kit is I go on the Gundam Disc Jockey. Yes, exactly. I go on YouTube.com. It's a website. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I go on YouTube and I look up reviews of the model kit I'm going to build. Now, sometimes that's to verify I'm saying the name right, or, if it's a show I'm not super familiar with, like I don't know all the model kits in Build and Build Divers and Build Divers and Build Fighters Try. I don't know all those because I'm not super familiar with those anime, those series. But also, it's to find out what people thought of the kit I'm about to build. Because sometimes some of these people are very knowledgeable, and they're like, hey, here's my least favorite part of this kit. Working on the feet, by the way. Here's my favorite part of this kit. Here's something you should look out for. I wish it did this better. And it's very helpful. So I often do my due diligence, and it's a little bit of research. And sometimes I thought I knew how to say the name of this kit. And then I watched videos, and 4 YouTubers agree it's Dijeh. So I'm going to call it Dijeh. It's always really funny to watch a video that's like a couple years old too, because I buy stuff that interests me, or I fill my wish list with stuff that interests me. So I'm not always hunting for the new thing. I'm often 4 out of 4 YouTubers agree, indeed. Hey, Mr. Bob, welcome. I'm often just looking for stuff that I'm like, recently I built the EZ8. I just never built an EZ8 before. And I was like, even when I was starting my building long before I streamed, when I was going through my period of building, I never worked on an EZ8. And I was like, I should build an EZ8. But that's like, or the Turn A Gundam. I'm sure someone built the Turn A Gundam when Turn A was coming out. They built the white doll then and never thought about it again. But for me, it was like, that's a kit I've never built. It would be interesting to try to build that weird kit. And that's kind of been my philosophy through all of this. Like I want to build the new cool ones. I want to build fun real grades, that just come out. I want to pre-order some kits that seem really interesting to me and do the new version of whatever. I'm definitely interested in doing that. Eventually I will own all the Gundam Wing kits that are coming out that I didn't pre-order. Eventually we'll track all those down in the future because I want to build them. Because if it's from Gundam Wing, I want to build it. That's my thing. We're only building a couple. I think I have 3 of them over the course of the rest of this year into January coming. But that, to me, that's like a thing that I definitely want to do. But most of the time, it's just like stuff that interests me. I want to try a glue kit. I want to do something from Initial D. Or, hey, I want to try something from One Piece. Let's see what these kits are like. Or, I'm very excited about the pre-order for Gohan, Ultimate Gohan, because I really like Teen Gohan as a character. And I don't think we're going to get a figure rise of the Great Saiyaman. But if we're going to get Ultimate Gohan, I'll take Ultimate Gohan, certainly, with pleasure. I'll build that kit. because it interests me because I love Dragon Ball. I'm hoping they do some figurize of some super stuff that more than they have. Oh, we got a Gunpla noob here. Is it glued together? I do Warhammer, and I always assumed Gunpla was the same. So these are snap kits. We are we are snapping plastic together. Um, Most of it is all plastic. There are some rubberized pieces, connectors, especially in the high grade. This is a high grade. It's the 144, the smallest scale, high grade. So in high grade, you're going to deal with a lot of these kind of connectors. Not releasing Great Saiyaman kit is a crime, to be honest. 100%. They did a figure, an actual figure, because they do figures and they do the model kit figures. So Gunpla way back in the day, it was all glue kits. Right now, if you want to work in glue or liquid cement, is what people are doing now. You're most likely doing cars or you're doing like ships or airplanes. That era is still very much that. If it's anime, you are dealing with especially particularly Bandai, but other companies as well. You're just doing snap kits. They snap together. You may use glue if a piece doesn't really go particularly well or is warped a little bit. If there was something with the factory, or it's just not like standing up the way you would like it to. You might go in with a little glue, but most likely, for majority of the time, you're not worrying about that. So let's get our D pieces, our D trees out here, which is nice. Video game related kits tend to be the same as anime stuff too. Yes. Yeah. The advice I always give to people coming into this is, start with something you like, because at the end of the day, at the very least, you like it and you know what it looks like. I say this. I can build a death scythe with my eyes closed because Gundam Wing was my first Gundam show, and it's still my favorite. It still is my fave. So I can build one of those kits with my eyes closed. And when I'm building a kit that I'm not super familiar with, it does take me a little time to kind of look at and go like, wait, what's this supposed to do? If you've got a show you really like, you get a high grade because that's a great starting one. Bandai is going to be putting out this like new grade soon, where it is the easiest kits I think they've ever produced. Where like honestly, like the sheets here, I'm jumping back and forth. There, you're going to start with A and build the head, and then go to B and build the chest, and go to C and build the arms, and they're trying to really make it approachable. Nendroids are similar. Yes, certainly. But yeah, I mean, I like the assembly portion of this stuff. I like that this is something that I don't need. You need clippers. You can use wire cutters. You can use kitchen shears. You can make do. You can use an X-Acto knife if you want to really make those cuts. But it is something that is approachable and doable if you're just starting out. And there's lots of YouTube tutorials of people doing full builds, time lapses, but sometimes live builds. Like I would call myself certainly a model kit enthusiast, model kit building enthusiast. I am not a pro by any stretch of the imagination, but I've been doing it for a long time, and I really enjoy doing it. And I have my thoughts on kits and stuff I like and stuff I don't, but mostly this is just this stream exists because I missed model kit building, wanted to do some streaming because I had built a little bit of an audience from my time at conventions, so I had built a bit of a following and wanted to do stuff for that following, and also I just missed it. What Gundam TV series is this one from? So this is from Zeta. Zeta is an early show. I'm gonna let's see. We're gonna hear. We're gonna hit. This is the DJ. The MSK8 DJ. I'm just gonna look up. What show it's from. Yeah. So this is from Zeta Gundam. And so it's pretty old-ish, I would say. Because Zeta is 1985, so it's the sequel to the original series, so it's old. Um, but this kit itself was released in 2000 and let me look at the thing here. 2018. So this is a 2018 kit, so it's pretty modern, which I like. I like when kits kits from the last few years are just constructed solidly, and I appreciate that. I like the classics. I like figuring out why does this have screws for to put the joints together. What is this connection piece? Why is this color not only different from the show, it's different from the photos in the box. Why would they do this to us? I do like that part, but I also very very much appreciate when it's like, oh no, this makes sense. Oh, and this goes here. Oh, and there's some English in this part. Because if you get anything, I would say from even 2015 on, um, they are definitely marketing it for an international audience. You just started watching Zeta for the first time. Arthur's bad now, and Char isn't Char. Yeah. Zeta is. So Zeta. Double Zeta is weird. Zeta, it's like, okay. And it's like stuff they wanted to say and couldn't say and wanted to do and couldn't do. Okay. Like, I can appreciate it. Double Zeta is kind of a very weird thing. That's the next one. Um, Uh, Early Gundam stuff, I have a soft spot for. I can appreciate it. It's not my favorite. Sometimes it is hard to go back to some of that stuff, but I do appreciate what it is. Um, I haven't watched all of Double Zeta. Hey, Lord Crashington, I still want to find a good way to watch original Gundam. So yeah, I mean you're in a tougher situation than some folks, GBC, due to licensing and streaming stuff for you. Because I don't know if the official YouTube channel for Gundam is available in your area, because they have a lot of stuff on there. I believe they have the Gundam movies on there. Don't quote me on that, but I know that finding good ways to watch things where you are is tough. The movie trilogy, the original, on the Gundam YouTube channel right now. Yeah, Mr. Bob. But we are dealing with Girly Buttercup is an international viewer. So I don't know what their situation is. That's the same thing when I always forget sometimes when I'm talking to another person that we'll chat about stuff. Christian is dealing with different restrictions about what they can watch as well from their country of origin. So it can be a tough thing. So I try to remember that when we're talking to people. Yeah, I mean it's not the same thing as the original series, Mr. Bob. You're totally accurate. You're totally right, and I understand why some people are not a big fan of it. I totally get that. But I think if you're like, I just want to get what's going on, see what the big deal is. Yeah, yeah. If I could give you all a recommendation, um, you should check out. Just go to Crunchyroll and look for the post about their new limited run podcast series that Udoya Travis is hosting. He was formerly from Getting the Robot, which is now going to be something else, and they're figuring out what to be because they got laid off from Channel Federator. But he's got a new podcast, and it's the history of anime in America, and the first episode was great. Um, uh, the last couple of years, I've been building a physical media collection because streaming is so unreliable here, but I've yet to find a release of the Gundam original that I can get for decent price. I respect and appreciate that. Yeah. Um, uh, the series is a lot more like GI Joe. Yeah, it is the original series. I mean, they were just trying to figure it out. Tried watching the movies years ago, and everything felt really weird, and that's why I want to see the original. Got it. Evening. G Gundam kits are probably the kits I would like to assemble someday. So, Um, Also, good evening. Yeah, the Master Grade G Gundam kits are great and weird, and have a tiny screwdriver. Have a screwdriver like this size, because when those kits came out, that was the G Gundam kits and Gundam X kits. Uh, don't quote me on the Gundam X, but G Gundam kits are from that era where you needed screws in the master grades, and it's weird. The high grades are pretty plentiful to find some of them. Uh, like the Noble Gundam came out not too long ago, so that was pretty easy to track down. It's a high grade, but like the Gundam Spiegel was hard to get, and the high grades, the 1/100 scale high grades, um, the American one. That's actually kind of hard to find at a reasonable price. Um, it's the stuff leading up to, including the Odessa battle. Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense, Mr. Bob. Yeah, the movie is just missing stuff. Uh, yeah, I mean, look, to me, that makes sense, right? That a movie that is trying to encapsulate a even a 13 or 26 episode series, right? Those movies that recap 12 episodes often feel rushed. Imagine trying to recap 49 episodes of a thing in 3 movies. That's not, the math doesn't add up. Like, stuff's going to get missing. Things are going to feel rushed, because the task is a tall order. All right, so we need G1 and B1. So we'll do B1 first here. We get B1. I gotta dig up G1. I believe these are rubber pieces. But yeah, it's a tough thing. I really, I dig the G Gundam. I've built all of the G Gundam Master Grades. The Master Gundam, Master Asia's Gundam, is fantastic as a Master Grade. It's such a lovely kit. The head is like, the pieces in the head, because of its ears, are such antenna ears, and such a weird part of the build that always felt like, am I doing this wrong? And then you're like, no, I'm doing this right. It's got a lot of love to it. Yeah, those kits with their rubber feet, what? And their oddly like rubberized hands, but then the Master Gundam has see-through hands, and it's just, yeah, there's a lot of detail and a lot of love in those kits. They are a strange sort. But we got to put some rubber on here, because it's not a Gundam from the 80s unless it has some weird rubber tubes in it. I mean, there's a lot of episodes that deserve to be dropped, but the 2 or 3 lines per episode that drove the story forward when combined makes it feel like you missed a large chunk of the story. Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. I tried to do the Zeta recut, but I would say it's a worse cut than the original. Okay. Um, I will believe you. Yeah, so these are rubber. This is just rubber. Now, this is still better than wire and a bunch of beads, which is what you've got to do for a lot of some of these kinds of kits, which I don't enjoy. I really don't enjoy the pushing plastic beads around a wire thing. Does it look better? Yes. Does it look more accurate? Probably. Is it more annoying? Yeah. This is not annoying. This worked out just fine. Shove that in there. Oh. Shove that in there. Keep that shoved in. And then lock it in place. This side, and it should stay shoved in when you lock it. I might take my sponger here. G Gundam's Hull is pretty odd, and the U.S. cut did not favor the series. I mean, so in some ways, no. I would say that the U.S. cut does a lot of what it needs to do to get on television. The main thing about G Gundam is it opened the fucking floodgates. And so we respect that. There's a lot to be said about G Gundam. We've talked about that show here. I would say we talked about G Gundam almost as much as we talk about Gundam Wing, which is my favorite Gundam series, and I will talk about it when I want as much as I can. But we've talked a lot about G Gundam because it is adventurous, as it is the first out of century show. It is preposterous. It is nonsensical. It is beautiful in some ways. It is a complete and total mess. And when it's not being just full, when it's not full of stereotypes, it's full of a lot of issues with women. It still has one of my favorite pilots of any Gundam series. The Domon fucking rules. But yeah, it's a problem. Yes, those early Make America, anime accessible for America cuts were rough. Yeah. So the other thing about G Gundam that I can appreciate from a dub perspective, an English cut dub perspective is, it's not trying to tell a different story. It's not making up its own story. Because sometimes people are like, oh no, it rules that there's some of those shows where they just like totally changed everything about it. And I'm just like, I don't know. I've watched the dub and I've now watched the sub of half of Samurai Pizza Cats, and I gotta tell y'all, I wish they hadn't fucked around with Samurai Pizza Cats. I think the subtitled stuff is fucking great, and I think the dub is just okay. I also love that we live in a time where you can do that, where if you want to do that. I had joked about starting that podcast where I would watch an episode of the sub and an episode of the dub and then compare notes, and then I wasn't sure what I was going to do for the couple. There's like 2 episodes, maybe 3, they didn't dub. So I was like not sure what I would do for those episodes, but that was the plan. And then it mostly was just like, I just kind of want to watch this on my own and not make this a job. So I never followed through with it, but I did consider it. Pat, what about the travesty that was the U.S. release of Legends of Armor Samurai Troopers? Man, yeah. Samurai Troopers, man. I'm going to Samurai Troopers. Oh, boy. So here's the real thing about that. Here was my big bummer about Retro Crush. I was going through Retro Crush, just looking at stuff, kind of checking it out. Not sure it was going to be for me, but checking it out. And I saw Ronin Warriors, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, Ronin Warriors. And it was the dub. And of course it's the dub, because I bet Ronin Warriors has never had an official subtitle. Or maybe it has, but they didn't. Retro Crush doesn't have that. They have the dub. And I was like, I don't need to see the dub of Ronin Warriors. I need to see the subs of Ronin Warriors. That is something that I definitely want to check out someday. But it was not meant to be on Retro Crush. Showed me the Great Stories Club, and I still don't know. Oh, the Ghost Stories, yes! Ghost Stories is an interesting case in that the people licensing it were like, do something different with this. Like it was that wasn't like it was the challenge was to like make this something else. But it's such a different thing. There's some good YouTube there's anime historians on YouTube. And there's a good thing. I can't remember who did it, but there's a good breakdown of why that happened, and includes like a lot of quotes from the person who did the distributing, who also ran the voice house for it, and why that happened and how that happened. And it's kind of interesting as a story. Pat, look at Tubi TV. They have it dubbed. Yeah, I mean, hello Media Hooks. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's really just a thing of like, oh, well, there you go. I don't mind when shows are like, hey, we're going to go in a different direction because we don't think that the audience is going to understand it. So we're going to make some changes. We're gonna change things around. Like I'm just certainly not in favor of we're going to take out Sanji's smoking, or we're going to remove all of the many guns in Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't love that part. I certainly think it's funny, the Brock's Donuts thing in Pokemon, because in a fantastical world where there are magical pocket monsters, just saying rice ball. They're like, well, the American audience has never had an onigiri before, so we can't call it onigiri. We'll call it a donut. And it's like, you could just call it onigiri, or you can just call it a fucking rice ball, and then kids will be like, oh, in the world of Pokemon, they eat rice that way. Okay, because what the fuck are they going to care? I don't know. The censored guns in Gundam Seed are pretty great. Yeah, I'm just like, so some of that is great because it's hilarious, and some of that is great because it's like, well, this is the compromise we are making here. We are going to, like, the assumption that girls were not going to love Card Captor so much that they called it Card Captor. And they heavily edited and skipped a bunch of episodes until the boy shows up, because they didn't think that girls were going to like a show about a magical girl and her cool animal friend and card battling, and that girls are going to be like, not interested. And they were like, we got to appeal to boys for this show. And it's like, then get a different show. Because girl and her gay friend who videotapes her all the time, like, with all the magic that's happening, I was just like, man, there is a certain audience that can't wait for this show. That was my favorite part of working at one of my favorite memories of working when I worked at an import store that we sold fan tapes. We were going for stuff, right? We're going for it. We're breaking all the rules. This is terrible. It's terrible that we were doing this, selling bootleg CDs, that are shrink wrapped and from China, and just selling wall scrolls that were probably real, but who knows, and just like going for broke, right? Selling fan subs. One of my favorite customers was a lady that would come in, and she was buying, every week she would buy the next tape in Cardcaptor Sakura, and then she would just tell me, she goes, my daughter says that the TV version is bad, and that she wants this version. And I remember so every week she would come in and she would get the next tape, which is like 3 episodes, and she would ask me something about another thing and see what was going on with that, and she would ask me about other shows that I might recommend. And then one week she came in and said, I watched with her this week, and then I'm watching the VHS tapes on my own, and this show is so fun. And I was just like, yeah, it is. And I was so happy about that. That was one of my favorite customers, because she was just like, she went from indulging her daughter to genuinely enjoying the show. And it was such a lovely exchange. Like, yeah, one of my favorite customers in that store. A rice that is balled up. Speaking of onigiri, super. Fiending for Subi the other day, and I was trying to figure out how to make it myself. The 90s, 90% of boys that liked Cardcaptor turned out to be queer or trans. I mean, yeah, that's definitely, we can definitely talk about that. Monster Rancer, hell yeah. Those early shows, I assume they were real fans bringing the shows over, but they're Cesar-smoking Don Draper character. So, at a certain point, anime became business. Some of it was a labor of love, and especially like what Toonami was going to end up wanting to talk to companies about licensing because they were interested in running in a Cartoon Network. Some of that was business, and some of that was like, oh, this is interesting, and like, oh, I wish this was out when I was a kid. I will say that Cardcaptor Sakura, Cardcaptor, exists in an anime period that to me is always been really interesting, which is, it was the period where you just watched any anime that came out, and then eventually enough anime came out that you didn't have to watch everything. You could pick and choose what you wanted to watch. But there was a period there, like, I don't know if I would have watched Sailor Moon, except that it was anime, and it was good, and I really liked it, but I don't know if I would have started out watching Sailor Moon if it wasn't the fact that it was like, oh, there's a new anime. Okay, cool. Uh, and because that was to me like you watched whatever you could, and you liked it. You watched all the different kinds of stuff that was out there, and then hopefully eventually they started bringing more and more stuff that you as a person were into, and you kind of pick and choose what you wanted to watch. Um, as it aired on the 5 can confirm. Yeah, because it's like because I'm like, I don't know if I like this show, but I like this show. Like, I watched Pretty Sammy, the spin-off to Tenchi, about what if the younger sister, Akane's younger sister, was a magical girl. I don't have any idea why I watched that, except that it was on and it was anime. Because that magical girl stuff is never been a thing that I've been super into. I respect it, but it's not a thing that I've ever like gone out of my way to try to see. So it was mostly just like, I don't know, it's on. Um, Sunday morning, yeah, you just get what you can. Uh, I remember like there was a local channel that aired they aired syndicated anime, so that's where I got Dragon Ball, and then they merged with another local channel, and I didn't get Dragon Ball anymore, and then and then there was like a letter writing campaign to bring back Dragon Ball, uh, and then we got it back, and they aired the episodes that we hadn't seen, and then it ended, and we were like, do we have to write more letters? And they're like, no, the show's over, because they only dubbed the first arc of Dragon Ball until Dragon Ball Z happened, and then they went back and started dubbing it again. But like, yeah, the first arc ended, and then you just don't get to watch Dragon Ball anymore until eventually, I found out what fan subs were, because uh, like all good anime fans that was born in the 80s, uh, and also the 90s, but I'm talking about myself. A friend had an older brother where they taped to heck, copied of a copy of a copy of Akira or Akira. So and then you're like, oh, anime is awesome. What are we doing? Let me get more of this. Let me try to figure out what Robotech is, because I never watched it. And it seems confusing. Wait, is Voltron Japanese? Like this moment where you're having this like discovery that a thing you thought you understood, you don't know what you're talking about? And you're like, wait, Voltron is 2 series that they slapped together? That's why it's different in some ways? Huh, okay. And you're just like learning about the world and trying to figure stuff out, because you can access to news groups and message boards. Uh, Speaking of old anime, I bought Dijeh one complete on Switch, and only one I forgot how bad the writing is. Yeah. You still have your VH copies of Wing Gundam Endless Waltz? Hell yeah, you do. I still have a few tapes. I have basically gotten rid of all of my tapes, all my fan subs. I saved a few things. I saved stuff that like no one's gonna pick up. Like, I'm gonna go right now to because.moe. Because.moe. They don't include some sites, but they include a lot of the major ones. And let's see if Samurai. Yeah, they do not have Samurai Skill. So, like, that's a show that I have on VHS. I have, like, the OVAs on VHS. They're fan-subbed OVAs, and the OVA group that made them, their messages at the end of the video, has Princes of the Universe playing, the Highlander theme by Queen. That was their, like, tag, which is very funny and weird and very anime. Um, Matt Cross. Oh, you mean like Robotech? Yeah, right? We had a strange dude in the barracks that transferred in from Okinawa and had to hook up. Yeah, man. We also had he was also the dude soldering chips onto PS and Dreamcast. Heck yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, we found out you could just burn CD images onto CD and just play them in a Dreamcast. You didn't need mod chips for a Dreamcast. You didn't need to do anything. It just played burned games. That was a revelation in piracy. Uh, and turn off the console line. Keep your sexy body away from me. Yeah. Yeah, that's Curly Buttercup. That's bad. That's some bad dub stuff. I mean, sometimes remaining true to the original is also making terrible mistakes and doing a bad job. You're still going along with the flow of it, but you're just doing a bad job because the source material is not good. Uh, I don't know. Uh, Look, I don't go for dubs these days. I respect it. There are some classic good ones out there. I got respect for that. It's not my cup of tea. Uh, um, I especially believe that simuldubs are generally poor. Uh, if you are, because I just think that they are now, everything obviously is being done remotely, but simuldubs will often be doing completely remotely, so you're not even in the studio with your producer, and that opens up stuff. That's great for that, but it also, in my opinion, meant that there are a lot of shows that are um, just just don't have good dubbed voice acting in them for simuldubs. I always prefer the. I think if there's a dub out there, I would prefer that it is done. If they take their time with it and do it right. But what do I know? Um, Simuldubs sound like they would be really hard on time constraints. Yeah, they really do. One of the things that ended up happening with some simuldub stuff was the original voice actor in the U.S. For one of the characters in My Hero, Present Mike. He's not doing it anymore because the doing that character hurt his like literally hurt him to do it, and especially in the simuldub schedule, he just he was just like, there are weeks that like I can't do any other work because of this show. So they had to replace him because he was just like, I can't keep doing this. And that's not a major character. I mean, there are seasons where he's more present, but he was just like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. This hurts too much. Uh, that's not super common, but it certainly does happen. All right, so we'll put these hoses in place here. Got to stick these hoses in place. We have done a leg. It's time to do another leg. One thing I will say about this kit that I appreciate is often you see a shield on this arm. It's kind of nice to have it on this arm. That's not a big point, but even if it is a small shield, it's kind of nice to see it on the right arm instead of the left arm, because usually it's the left arm. That's just me noticing a thing. Uh, it's nothing big. It's not a big revelation or anything. All right, so we got one leg done, and basically we just do what we did there, but with the other leg. That's all there is to it. Nothing to it but to do it. There's things to say about Netflix quality of anime release. The quality seems to vary a lot. I feel like the release entire seasons at once gives them more opportunity to get things right. Yeah, I mean, like, look, people talk about Netflix jail, and I mean, did I want to see Dora Hedoro weekly? Yes, I did. Was I tempted to find some streams and some fan subs? Sure, I was. Was it worth the wait? I don't know. It's really good, but I don't know if it was worth the wait. I kind of wish that, you know, Netflix, if the Netflix US gets the rights to a show, that they released it weekly subtitled and then put a dub release out later. I understand why they don't do that, but if they're all going to release it at once anyway, but it's just like, I don't know. Uh, it's kind of interesting to see how they do that. Like Japan, Amazon Prime releases things all at once sometimes. Crunchyroll experimented with that. I was talking about this last night with Drop My Devil Dash, the sequel to Drop My Devil. They just put all the episodes out at once because they were already going to be out anyway instead of doing it weekly. And I think that was a show that they don't even have the first season on Crunchyroll. They only have the second season. So that really felt like hey, let's try this. Let's experiment with a thing we really don't care about. Anime sequel naming is the most confusing shit. Yeah. Well, this is my time to make my silly thing that I always say, which is the crime of New Game having New Game exclamation point is the first season. The second season is New Game 2 exclamation points. That's not uncommon. But if the show is called New Game, the fact that they didn't call the second season New Game Plus infuriates me. Not really, but it does. It is frustrating that they did not make the New Game Plus joke and instead went with 2 exclamation points. Like, that's what they do with Working. The anime Working is like more exclamation points tell you what season it is. It's not New Game Plus. No, dirty. It's New Game 2 exclamation points. They just added more exclamation point. They added another exclamation point, so it's New Game, and then it's New Game. You willed that in your head, or maybe, Dirty, you've heard me make this joke / rant before, because I have made it before. This will not be the last time that I curse the decision. Yeah, it's just a missed opportunity. I get it. Whatever. I do appreciate that they call them plates for Food Wars, like the fourth plate. Also, but instead of the plate, what if they called them courses? What if it was second course, third course? Huh? They could do that too. I do like plate though. I don't think it's bad. Instead of season, they just call it the third plate. I don't hate that. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Harold is now hosting. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate that as always, my friend. More think about 9 for the next big push like anime. I don't know. Keijo is 8 is not in fact season 8. Yes. I don't know what the next big look to me. People are the weird isekai movement. The postmodern isekais are probably going to fizzle out. I feel like isekai is going to go through a dive again, and we will see. We will see like a. I think the weird ones can only sustain for so long before that kind of dies out. I think shonen is always going to be king. I do like the direction of nice shonen, nice boy shonen that we've kind of gotten. Obviously, it's not fully there. We still have like Dr. Stone because he's trying to help, but that's a jerk. That's a jerk boy. So we're still going to see that. But your Tanjiros, your Astas, your nice guys, your Dekus. There's some good boys. Your mobs. They're the good boy protagonists. Because I always say this, like, the thing that people forget about Hunter x Hunter is that Gon is an asshole. Gon is a selfish asshole. That his quest for adventure is, my dad gave up raising me and left me on this island to be a hunter. hunting must be awesome. I'm going to go do that too. Because the adventure is really not, eventually it is, oh, I'm going to find my dad, but mostly it's, I'm going to go do what my dad did. And I'm going to go abandon the people that raised me and go on this great adventure. And he is just very selfish. I think they're going to do more Promised Neverland. That seemed to do very well. Now, I don't know for sure because, I don't know, but I believe that did very well, and people were real into it. So I assume there's going to be more of that. But yeah, I've really liked your good boy. There's some real good boys here in Shonen, and I've appreciated that. We'll talk about a shonen in a couple minutes after our pause of the cause. If they get a subbed Korean or Japanese TV in real time, that would be the ultimate wish. Yeah. I actually think that. Yeah, I think it's just too much. I mean, that's the thing, GBC. We've seen we're in the postmodern era right now. There's still like Eighth Son. Are you kidding me? There's still isekai that are coming out, or like ReZero. There's still like your traditional male bunch of ladies around. ReZero is a little different because seemingly only one character is in love with him, so it does make that a little different than a lot of what the modern isekai is. But the postmodern stuff, the really weird stuff that's been coming out, that eventually will hit. Oh, we're going to hit that gong. All right, Lord Crashes, I'm going to hit that gong. That's eventually going to just dry up because it's just, they're going to run out of stuff that they think they can sell. All right, here we go. All right, we did it. Hit that gong. 90s shoujo isekai. Yeah, I mean, we've gotten a little bit. We got a little bit, right? Getting my next life is a villainess. All routes lead to doom. That's an otome game with a female lead character, and her radically her weird harem that she is unaware exists. We got and we also got Please Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life, which is kind of a bit of a comedic take on the genre. It's a knowing look at the genre, but it does go traditional in that it is an adventure series of 4 cool ladies, one of whom happens to be the main character of an isekai. And it's a playful take on isekai. So we've gotten some of that. And Bookworm. Yes, Bookworm is also kind of going for that as well. But that's the closest that we've gotten, and I do think that they're out there. I'm excited for Soma Spider So What. I think that's fun. There's another isekai about a girl that just killed slimes for like 1,000 years and can't get any more XP from doing it. That show is, I think, on the horizon, and that seemed kind of interesting. So I think those shows are out there. It's just a matter of like, but those will die down, and then we'll get a bit of a reprieve on that. But I do think that the traditional, the Fushigi Yugis, the Escaflones, the Inuyashas are due for a return. Yeah, we're gonna have isekai. Because they're popular. They're popular light novels. They're popular manga. Here's actually what I want to see. We're now getting webtoons, which is rad. When are we gonna get licensed Chinese animation subtitled in English outside of Tencent's YouTube channel doing that one series about a gamer? When are we gonna get the other shows that are out there officially licensed in the U.S.? Because some of them just seem boring as shit, but some of them look pretty cool. There's one that's like a school in magic users, and he's got 2 magic abilities, and that doesn't make sense, and like Quasin something or other. And I was like, that actually looks pretty cool. Harold wants me to hit that gong. Is the manga or anime we're getting about Inuyasha and Kagome's kid? So it's their kid and Shisomaru's twins. Right? I forget. I think that's a manga, and we're getting the anime of that manga. Yeah, because the manga. I don't know if the manga is going to be a U.S. release, but the manga exists, and we're going to get that anime. I'm hitting that gong. Yeah. So it's like their daughter and his twins who got separated and are trying to reconnect with her, and they go on adventures in time, and that seems kind of fun. Uh, Girly Buttercup, I will be talking to you about a couple sci-fi shows. Well, one sci-fi show, and one with a weird sci-fi-ish premise. Uh, that's weird. A fantasy show. After a pause for the cause. Folks, we're taking a pause for the cause. It's 10 p.m. That's halfway through the stream. So I'm going to go to this. And if you're new to the stream, what is pause for the cause? Well, every build stream, halfway through the stream, because we're going from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, I take a break. This is my break where it's my ad reads. If I had commercials, if I was being endorsed, this would be the time where I go, hey, buy this thing. And here's a commercial all about it. I don't do that. Instead, what I do is take a couple minutes to tell you about ways that you can support the stream if you want to. You are under no obligation to do that. Following me is great. Subscribing, fantastic. Gifting subs, bits and coins, joining my Patreon, buying something off my Amazon wish list. All these things are cool and awesome, but you don't have to do any of it. You don't even have to chat. We've got friends here who hang out. They don't chat. That's totally okay and great. I appreciate you just being here. Sometimes folks have it on a TV while they're doing other things, or have it on their phone and they're just listening. Like, enjoy it. If you are a subscriber, why don't you throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Moat, if you're tier 2, in the chat, like Dirty just did. That lets folks know, hey, that's a $5 reward. You get some cool emotes, and you get my thanks. If you have Twitch Prime, you can link your Amazon Prime with Twitch. You get this token. You can use that token on me. You also gift subs, and you join the leaderboard. Bits and coins are always appreciated. They just make it easier for me to get that payout every month. And anything I make through Twitch, through Patreon, eventually YouTube will pay me out again. I'll eventually hit enough ad revenue sometime next year probably and get another check from YouTube. That all goes to me buying kits and equipment. And equipment I'm pretty good on right now. Kits, I always need more of, right? Because once I'm done building this kit, I'm done building it. It just is done. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel if you like. As I said, becoming a subscriber, renewing your subscription, converting that gift sub you got into a regular one, gifting a sub to somebody else. Those are great ways to support the channel. They are not necessary, but they are appreciated. I do have a Patreon. Now, if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, check my show description for all this information. I keep it in the show description. We are going to get back to the build. This will take like 4 minutes tops, and then we'll get back to building. But I have a Patreon. You can join my Patreon. There are different tiers. There's the $1, $3, $5, and $10 tiers. So if $5 a month through Twitch is not to your liking, maybe $1 a month. You want to throw me a buck. Hey, you get charged a little tax on it. It's a little bit more than a buck because it's sales tax now, but it's still a nice way to support the channel. You could also donate directly, one-time deal. I got ways to do that. If you're like, hey, here's a couple bucks, buy a kit. Put this towards the next kit. It'll go into money that I use to buy stuff for the stream. So that's a way to support the channel as a one-time deal. I have an Amazon wish list. I will talk to you about that there. If you buy anything on my Amazon wish list, or if you buy a gift card that I'll talk about in a minute, if you buy anything from that, if you buy from my Amazon wish list, it comes to me in the mail and I get it, and I will build it ahead of stuff in my backlog. So it will jump the queue because you decided that you wanted me to have it. So I've got the Arc, the Gundam Arc here, Impulse Arc, which is pairs with the other Impulse kit that we built, the Lancer, which we just completed pretty recently. I've got a bunch of high grades in here, some master grades, some Lego sets, a cheap Lego set, some more expensive stuff, some pretty pricey kits here. I've never built the NT1, and the NT1 version 2 is on there, the master grade from Gundam 0080 is in there. That's an expensive kit 'cause it's the master grade, but that's in there. Some pricier kits, some cheaper kits, a bunch of different stuff is in there. Some stuff that is expensive now and won't be as expensive later. Like, don't buy the some of the stuff that's in there. Like, don't spend $60-something to get me the high grade of the Maxter Gundam from G Gundam, the Neo-American Gundam. That won't be as expensive later, and I could probably find that somewhere. But it's on the wish list. So if you want to buy something from that, I build it. Again, no obligation to do any of that. We'll get through these pretty quick. We'll get back to building soon. Now, if you're like, I don't want to buy something from Amazon, Pat, but I'll buy you a gift card to USA Gundam Store, how would I do that? Well, I'm glad that you hypothetically asked that, because I will now let you know. You go to USA Gundam Store. You buy a gift card. Then you pop over to my Twitch, or you go to send me a whisper. You DM me on Twitter, because my DMs are open, and you go, hey, here's the code that I got in my email for this gift card. Enjoy it, and I'll buy something, and that will jump the queue as well. Thank you, Lexan, for following. I appreciate that very much. Sorry the pop-up didn't happen. Sometimes the pop-ups don't happen. I don't know why, but I appreciate that. We're going to get through these real quick, get back to building. So those are other ways to support the channel. Again, these are optional, obviously. Just being here is nice. Chatting, that's great. Hanging out, that's cool. If you want another place to come hang out, you can join my Discord. I got a Discord. It's very chill. I post after every stream. I post a photo of whatever I worked on the stream. Other people post stuff that they've been working on, and it is and plug themselves if they're doing streams to the community, because this community is very nice. It's a very chill Discord. It's very cool. So consider coming in and hanging out there. I got a couple of videos that you could watch. Pat Baer's Anime Club, I talk about using tools. It is an ongoing video series that I do on YouTube. I got a couple of YouTube series. Well, adjective, noun, gaming, just adjective. Yeah, adjective, noun, gaming, just subscribe. Thank you. Girly Buttercup says, Twitch connection going bad, heading out. Have a good rest of the stream. I did have some drop frames there. I'm sorry if that was bad for folks. But have a great night, Girly Buttercup. Thanks for being here, and thank you. Let's hit the Bear Cave, the Lego the Site emotes, and thank our subscriber there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that very, very much. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out and joining the stream. I need my sound effect board because I gotta hit the applause there. I forgot to set this out, my soundboard. So we'll go and applause. No, this is on my end. Oh, you Twitch connection is spotty sometimes. Oh, okay. Well, cheers. Thanks for being here. Always appreciate it. Yeah, I did drop a couple frames throughout, but like very little. So it looks like we're pretty good. Having some issues with default gateway stuff, and I think I fixed it. By trying everything that the internet told me to do. And I think it's just because I'm doing it through Wi-Fi, and it's been weird. But anyway, Pat Baer's Anime Club is a video series I do. Yesterday I recorded next Mondays. This is the last episode, which is still the most current that's up on my YouTube, talking about the tools of the trade, stuff I use to find anime, to keep track of what I'm watching. I reference because.moe. Now that's referenced in that video. Baering the List. I made a new list yesterday. Speaking of anime, it's the top 10 anime betrayals. This was suggested that I do a list of top 10 anime betrayals. Spoilers abound. Spoilers. So many spoilers in there. Don't remember we did a video on my channel. That's right, we played Dream Daddy. That is right. Yes, hello. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, thank you. That was so fun. to get to do some voices and relive a little bit of that game. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Um, uh, but yeah, I made a top 10. It's not the same 10 that Watch Mojo did that started the meme of top 10 anime betrayals, but it is 10 anime betrayals. So there's a lot of spoilers. It's the only one where I don't put a preview image of the thumbnail is not the list. I start with just a spoiler thing because I want people to know that I'm going to talk about spoilers about 10 anime. And some of them you've probably heard of, but some of them maybe you haven't. Maybe you don't know what happens in Steins Gate. Maybe you don't know what happens in the last episode of another show that is a big twist, and you're like, wait, why did that happen? That's out of nowhere. Or maybe, but you probably know about the guy that clearly seems like a villain and has been villainous throughout the entire series. Now, you don't expect him to become a demon, but you do expect him to betray everyone that's worked for him. But yeah, so I had fun with that video. Is it always a happy ending, right? Yeah. No, I mean, like, most series, you're not getting a happy ending at the end, right? There is, like, I did include one betrayal that is a villain betraying another villain, and because I think that's just, like, cool to include in the list, and is a big betrayal. It's justified, but it does come out of nowhere. Anyway, I'm going to talk about, hey, weird, I'm going to talk about anime, but I'm going to be talking about anime that came out since my last build stream on Monday. So this is the stuff that I've been watching since then. We're going to go back to building. Thanks for everybody for hanging out for my ad reads. I appreciate you, and thank you. But let's talk about anime that happens, new episodes that came out. We're going to start with Black Clover. We are currently in a thing. I talked about this a bit in my anime club episode that I taped yesterday with an audience. We're in this very fun time where they're doing a filler arc. It's the first filler arc for Black Clover because they used to just like take a couple weeks off here and there and just do like wrap up episodes or whatever. But now they're doing a for real filler arc, and it's awesome because they're just doing what might have happened in the time skip because there's a time skip is coming. So instead, they're just doing episodes during the time skip because they kind of know what some of the powers are that characters are going to come out with later. So they're just kind of doing it now. And it ends up being, I think, like really interesting to see them like grow a little bit. Also, this is an undersea episode, so we have our undersea friends. And this is an episode. This is a heavy episode for a little bit of Finral, just like kind of easing into his role and figuring out how he can be the guy he needs to be a little more. But really, this is Noelle's episode. This is Noelle's growth episode. And it's so fucking refreshing, especially because like last week's episode was like another like thing that was like just watching her like poorly react to Asta maybe dating someone and being in denial about her feelings for him. And it's like, I get it. It's still very early in the show for them to have any sort of acknowledgement of like her being honest about how she feels. So sure, no problem. But this episode was her of like getting a new spell, figuring out how to like work with her spells that she's doing, like stepping up, fucking being awesome. And it continues my belief that Black Clover is the only shonen currently airing, at least, that actively is interested in the female characters in the show. Some of the strongest characters in the show are women. Yes, you have Noelle being love-struck. That's not awesome. Not fun. She's tsundere. Kind of annoying. Some of it is clearly to hide things. I don't love that. but you have Gray coming into figuring out how to be a little more comfortable with who she is and finding acceptance in the people around her. Vanessa went through a lot of growth as the character that was just like the drinker who doesn't wear a lot of clothes and is very womanly, and you're kind of like, oh, she was sheltered because she was isolated from people for so many years that she is now rebelling against all that and hiding her pain. Okay, all right, that's a little trite, but it's still good. And the Melidora just being the most badass character in the whole fucking series, just like unbelievably incredible. Like there are some really great characters in that show, and then Charmy is a complete joke character, but she's only a joke character because if she was not funny and not played for laughs, she'd be incredibly overpowered because that's the kind of character she is. Her magic doesn't make sense and is next level unbelievably great. Because yeah, so she's just like, why did I pull this piece out? I don't need this piece. I don't know why I pulled that out. I pulled out the wrong piece, and I don't know why. Sorry, I got in my head. Anyway, Black Clover fucking rules. I know it's over 100 episodes. I know that Asta's voice is annoying because he shouts all the time. I get it. I get it. Also, he's in competition with Yuno, his childhood, like they grew up in the same orphanage. They are competing for rank, and they've always been competitive. But also, they love each other, and it's very clear they love and respect one another, and that it's not a Sasuke thing. It's not a Sasuke thing, and that is very nice. It's so refreshing. Anyway, Black Clover. I talked about it a lot, but I think it's a great show. Moving on. I wrote diaries. It's not diaries. It's diary. Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. I wrote the name wrong there. Sorry about that, y'all. Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater, which is not a good name for a show. It's not a good translated name for the show. This was a show that aired in spring for 3 episodes, and then it went on hiatus because it had to, because shows had to go on hiatus. And we respect that and appreciate them looking out and them doing what's right. So we're not mad about it, but we were bummed about it because it's a slice of life about a bunch of young ladies, 4 young ladies to be precise, who are part of the Embankment Club. It is the outdoor fishing club. They fish on basically the stone docks in this like seaside town in Japan. A young lady was not looking to join that. She was looking to join. Moves to a new town. Is looking to go to high school there and join the crafting club because she likes crafts. Well, she gets roped up into joining this fishing group. So we're learning about fishing. We're learning about cool, fun friends. This is a 2-part episode where they went to get clothes and they all got to hang out because she needed a cool jacket and she was like trying to find a cute one. And they're just, they're all really fun. We've got the knowledgeable but kind of unreliable, lazy-ish senior. We've got the very dependable, is also on the student council, quiet but like strong and tall and sweetheart support sophomore. We got the 2 freshmen, our new character, which is our gateway into the world of this, and then also her friend that she played when she lived there as a child that she had kind of forgotten about, who is the fangirl, like really spunky, kind of loud one that is there just to be like fun and is the butt of the joke on occasion. It is a cute show. It has got such lovely energy to it. I am thrilled to tell you that if you have Funimation that or Anilabs, that Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater is highly recommended to you. The 4th episode just came out. As I said, they went and got stuff, and they did a thing on learning how to try to get squid, and it was just a joyous, lovely episode. Can't recommend the show enough. It fucking rules. Uh, and now I want to tell you about Decadence. Now, Girly Buttercup did leave, but Girly Buttercup was saying that they were asking about some science fiction. This is a science fiction show. Decadence. All right, so we ended up at a cliffhanger there with like some underground battles, and Natsume, our young heroine, who has been trained, gonna get thrown in the deep end. This is real. She's been kind of fighting in a training grounds area. Now, she didn't know that was a training grounds. So everything that she thinks is real is a fabrication. Um, it's all a game. It's part of a system for these AI, these cyborg things, the AI units, which she is unaware of. She does not know that she is part of some great experiment, that she is part of entertainment, uh, and which sucks that she's not aware of that, but no one is. Uh, so she has her battle, and she's accepted into these warrior people. She's going to be a fighter. Her childhood friend is kind of distancing self from her because she doesn't want to. She can't stop her friend from doing this, and she just can't watch it happen because she thinks her friend is going to die. Um, and so she's been trained. Natsume's been trained, and a big event is coming. A very big event is coming, and turns out this big event is not winnable. The monster that they're going to have to go get, there's no way that anyone in this crew could go. It's a death sentence. They're not going to win. Uh, and it is meant to psych up the gifted, who appear to be a warrior race that seem human but aren't human. Turns out they're not human at all. They are artificial intelligence that occupies human like androids that appear to be human, but they are androids. It's this whole thing. There's a lot of fucking science. This whole thing, it is complicated. It unravels as it goes. Anyway, he tries to stop her from doing this battle because he definitely thinks she's going to die in it because there's no win condition. Because it's meant to bring back some people and be a cool event. It is because all of these battles are not real. It's just fucking for sport, and they have no idea. Apparently, hey, this is something I didn't know. Um, I didn't know that the closed captioning, the auto-generated closed captioning thing that I'm doing, is closed captioning. Uh, Bleeps out swear words, doesn't put the swears in there. So if I say fuck, it comes out. It doesn't come in there. So wow. Okay. Well, I apologize for folks that want to read along with my swear words and don't get to. I'm just learning this. I did not know. I just happened to look over and see that. Yeah. So I've enabled the captioning, which I'm happy to do, uh, and hopefully hopefully that is a cool thing for people. People can appreciate, they can enjoy that. All right, so we're gonna bend this knee back here, and then we're gonna put this on. This. Yeah. So Decadence. It's the nice thing about this show is that it is because it is a complete. Oh, I haven't watched any anime in a long time, but I really want to get back into it. Last thing I watched was Demon Slayer. Oh yeah, well Demon Slayer was great. Uh, Got to circumvent it like in the Good Place. Yes, right. Um, I'm sure there's a document somewhere of all of the actual words you can say uh, that don't get bleeped out. Somebody has gamed the system. Um, I mean, Demon Slayer rules. I would say that uh, there's probably not like a good equivalent to Demon Slayer right now in Shonen. Fire Force, I think, isn't good right now. I think the season isn't that good. Um, Otherwise, I would recommend that if I thought it was a good version of it. But I think season 2 is kind of bad. I think season 1's good. Season 1 Fire Force is good, mostly. But yeah. Uh, and then GIBIATE. I don't think GIBIATE is a good show. I wouldn't recommend watching GIBIATE, but I'm a warrior monk showed up. So, in the near future, humanity has been destroyed by a virus that turns people into monsters. They turn people into very bad computer-generated monsters that don't look good in comparison to the rest of the anime. It does not match up. It is definitely done by a different studio. It does not look good. They're turned into ugly-looking bad monsters, generic bad monsters. And humanity is pretty bad off. There's a doctor who looks like he is evil and will probably turn on people. Certainly does not look like a good dude, but that's just what I'm saying. This is the vibe I'm getting off this guy. I don't know for sure if he's a bad dude, but he doesn't look like a good dude. And he's trying to find a cure, and people are in a rough spot, and there's some military people, and we're in Japan, and then a ninja and a samurai show up. And they can take down these monsters, and that's good. And they don't know why they thought they went to the afterlife, and they don't know why they're in this place. And then in episode 3, which came out yesterday, a warrior monk from the time of Nobunaga, which was previous to the Meijin era that these guys came from, shows up. And he literally has the line, "I don't know what's going on, but sure, I'll help you." He immediately is just like, "I'm a big dude, I'm going to do stuff. I'm a big monk man, and I'm going to help you out." And I dig that. There's a cliffhanger here where one of the guys got infected, and it's probably going to be bad, which is not good. But, oh yeah, and the cool sword the guy had broke. So now he's going to the mall, and maybe he's going to find some cool weapons in the mall. The ninja got grenades, and he's already very good with grenades. And the way they explained how he's doing so well with it is, I've always had a knack for Western technology, which is of the era of when he was a shinobi. As I said, it's not a great show. They're teasing me because there's going to be a character at some point which looks like a purple-haired badass lady that uses knives, but not they're knives, but they're on sticks, and you have a handle, and then the blade goes like this. It's kind of like Chip from Guilty Gear, but instead of being wrist blades, they're I don't know what that is, but there's a cool lady in the opening animation, the opening video that has that, and I'm like, what's up with this? I at least have to keep watching the show until she shows up. I hope she shows up soon, because she seems cool. There's just a lot of stuff that I'm like, that's all right, okay, I guess, but I don't think it's a good show, and I wouldn't recommend it, especially because, as I said, the art of the monsters is bad. It's very poor. It's not good, so I would not recommend that. But I do think that there is some stuff to enjoy and appreciate about the show. So I would say is probably worth maybe checking out. I don't know. There are worse shows out there than that. You'd be watching The Millionaire Detective. That's just pure garbage. That's not even fun trash. But yeah, this is a weird season where all of my favorite shows of the season, outside of Diary of Our Days of the Breakwater, which was supposed to be last season anyway, all my other favorites, Diary of the Days of Breakwater, I think is just good, clean fun. Everything else is fun garbage. Oh boy, Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. That's some romantic comedy, etchy garbage. It's very fun. Uh, the Misfit at Demon King Academy. That's just pure, like, overpowered main character. Like, why is no one? Why is everyone think they can beat this guy that seems unbeatable and don't believe him anything he says because he's a misfit but is clearly stronger than everyone. Um, like that's just a wish fulfillment show, but it's fun. Also, the last episode of that show, episode 4, did the thing I really love, which is they had the main character sing the theme song. He sang the opening. The voice actor did as the character. And I am a sucker for that. That is an easy way to get me to like your show, is to have the characters sing the song once or twice. I just think that rules. So yeah, my favorite shows this season are Garbage and Diary of a Day the Breakwater, which is just a cute, lovely show. But yeah, I'm trying to think like, I guess right now, I guess that The God of High School is good. The fight scenes in The God of High School are very good. The ongoing stuff around it seems weird, and the art style I like, but I don't understand why everyone looks like they are hungover or drunk. They've got this like, there's a choice in the art that is weird, and I don't know why it happens. It's not a deal breaker by any sense stretch, but it is weird. But the art is very good, and the opening song for the God of High School is very strong. So that's good. All right, so we got to put this here. Working on our waist here. I mean, that's all that's left to do is the waist, the backpack, which is not much. There's not really a huge backpack to this thing. There's a little bit of one, but so yeah, we're just assembling things here, building things up. I think we'll probably be body complete by the end of the stream. Maybe you've gotten some of the weapons or all of the weapons done or none of the weapons done. But yeah, we're putting this together. Let's work on the back part of the skirt. Some D pieces here. Yeah, that's A and that's D. Learn as we go. That's it for the anime of this week, honestly. Keep watching stuff, but there are a few shows out there that I have not watched because no one has told me that they are good. Nobody of my friend group, anyway, has told me anything good. Are there any series out there that you'd like to see a reboot, like Hunter x Hunter or Full Metal Alchemist? Flame of Recca. Flame of Recca is a very good, but poor. It's a very bad anime. It's not a bad anime. It's just it didn't know what to do when it caught up to the manga, so it just made a choice that ended the series and ended the series. They were basically just like, well, we're not probably going to be able to get more out of this, and we're not going to be able to probably come back from a hiatus. So let's just make a huge choice that would have unbelievable ramifications in the series. So they just did that. But I think Flame of Recca has a lot of heart. I think it would do really well as a shonen, a modern shonen, because I think it's really fun, and I think that it's got a classic guy lives a certain code for no apparent reason, but turns out he was right all along, trying to help some people out. The thing is that Rekka fucking fails a lot, because Rekka is immediately and unbelievably in over his head, and I always really liked that. He also has an incredible response to finding out his relationship to a character that has been introduced, which he has been cold on, and suddenly he finds out a lot about her, and instantly is like, he's instantly just like, all right, well, I'm processing this information in a very positive way, and I always like that. But yeah, I think Flame of Recca would be cool. Is there going to be a there was Shaman King news. Are they bringing that back? What was that news? I can't remember. But there was Shaman King news. Was that okay? Uh, we're getting more of the. I mean, the delay was here. Okay, so the spin-off English releases starting. Yeah, that's right. We're getting a lot more Shaman King. But I can't remember if they were like gonna do a new anime for it or not. It might have just been the news that I saw was that they were going to publish a bunch of the manga, like finish the original manga in the U.S. Oh no, there's a reboot. Okay, Shaman King reboot. That was from. That's right. I had to do the second page. That's how old the news was. Shaman King was something that I would have listed because Shaman King. Here's a weird thing that happened with that show. It was very popular as a manga. They started making the show, and then the manga audience dried up, and it just started sinking. And so it wasn't a hit internationally. So that's why the manga never finished in the U.S. They stopped doing it because it didn't become a huge success and actually became uh, a a kind of bummer of a series towards the end, which was really sad because I think it has a lot of promise. I enjoyed the manga back when I subbed to Shonen Jump in the early days of that. Yeah, yeah, I think Shaman King is a fun series. So I forgot there's going to be a reboot of that, but I probably would have said that if there wasn't going to be one. That might make my list. I'm trouble getting this together here. Let's get this together. Is this D15? Did I do the right piece? I did the right piece. If this doesn't go on properly, that's okay because this is to hold the weapons in the back, and we won't really need to do that. So the fact that this isn't going in right is okay because we're not going to hold things back here anyway. Yeah, this isn't going in, but as I said, oh, it went in. Okay, we did get that in. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm trying to think about reboot treatments. Mostly, it's like those shows that like I mostly want sequels to things. Uh, remake one of all classics. What would you pick? I want to do a reboot, remake of a classic series. Um, I think that I would reboot with new art, new animation style. Baldridge says Trigun. Trigun could be cool. Um, I think I'd do Inuyasha. I would do a what's up? Hey Baldridge. I think I would do a reboot of Inuyasha. I think that I think the art could be, like you could pump a bunch of money into it. Uh, you could take some of the stuff from the movies and make some of that canon. There's a lot you could do with that series that I think, and I think that it would resonate. I think the romantic elements of the series, uh, you know, like some of the various characters, you could tone down. Let's reboot. You could tone down some of the stuff that is a fucking bummer in. Yes, a new Inuyasha with less of it. Well, that's the thing. You could tighten up the show. You could really streamline some of the episodes where it does feel like nothing happened except sexual harassment with some of your minor characters. I think you could do a lot of cool shit in that world. Um, I was gonna say Yu Yu Hakusho, but I think the original still stands up. So you would definitely not do the episode where, in his own way, Yosuke is supportive of the trans character, but also it's not handled as well as it could be because of the time and various other things. I'm not making excuses. It just isn't a great element of that. So I think they could handle that better. Also, if you were going to redo Yu Yu Hakusho, they would streamline. They would do the streamline the first chunk of it because it is a very long time. He is dead for so many episodes. I had a friend who was like, "I'm going to watch this show," and he was like, "Hey, when does this show get good?" And I was like, it takes a while before things happen in that show. I think it just takes a very long time before it gets great. Um, I love the first couple seasons of Inuyasha, but fell off at the Dark Tournament. Yeah, I mean it goes on, it goes and goes and goes. It goes on forever. But yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't think you can do as many episodes of that. I think I would love. I don't think they should do a remake of Bleach and cut almost all of the filler out of it. Um, and only leave maybe some of the fun filler. But there's so much fucking filler in that show. Oof, you doof. It's been a while since I watched it. I should rewatch to be more critical. Yeah, I mean, like, look, the main thing with Yu Yu Hakusho is like there's an episode that is a fucking bummer in some ways, and there are characters that I wish got flushed out a little bit more. Uh, but for the most part, I think like it's a good, solid series. But yeah, it does suffer a little bit from like just it was at the time, and I think it was totally okay and kind of interesting to be very slow in the way it was. I'd make a Yu-Gi-Oh that focused on the adventure parts of the manga that was more interesting to me. Yeah, I think doing a season 0 reboot of Yu-Gi-Oh, really looking at the early stuff and trying to expand that out before it became a show about duel monsters, when it was a show about a lot of things, including duel monsters. Uh, is kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't know how you would do it like that, but yeah, I think that there could be something there. I need a piece here for this work. Done very little with our red, but we will get a little red going in here. Ari Bleach. Apparently, there's going to be a movie of the spin-off. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think you maybe could do something, but also like I don't really want to spin off. I mean I don't really want a reboot of Bleach. I think Bleach is had its time, and they'd probably fucking take out number one or something. Ichigo they take his theme away and replace it because they don't want something that is they probably wouldn't want something that's so cool as that theme. God damn, that theme rules. So fucking cool. That guitar solo that just comes out of like nowhere. Oh man. The guitar solo that starts as the chorus is they're leading up to the in the pre-chorus. Hell yeah. That just rules. I'm trying to think of like classic anime that should get like some treatments. I don't know. Uh, I think it'd be weird if they started making more Hunter x Hunter because Hunter x Hunter is fucking weird. Uh, I was gonna say it would be interesting if they like went back and did JoJo all over again. But they kind of did. They kind of did already. But that would be kind of interesting if they just started over with JoJo with like now sensibilities, knowing where it's going, so they could like. Although they probably still put in the episodes where it was very clear that the mangaka just like didn't care about that thing anymore. Like how there's like clearly part of Diamond is Unbreakable involves one character time traveling in order to save himself as a child, and he gets a glimpse of what his savior looks like, and that's who he wants to emulate, which is just himself, but it's never really addressed, and maybe it probably never will be because he got bored with it because he created a character that is a self-insert that he got obsessed with instead, and it's just like, okay, dude, all right. It just goes so many places, and it's so weird. Just so weird. What was I say? I'd love to see a remake of Conan. That's full localization point from over the West, even though it doesn't really need to change. Maybe less of a teasing to get back to adult form. Yeah, I don't know. That one's a weird one. Detective Conan, case closed, had like a weird, it always had like a weird stop and start. Um, like, it never really got momentum. It never picked up over here. But it's a long running show, very popular. I got to talk to a friend of mine, Brett, who writes, Brett White, writes for Decider, and he covers some stuff. And so he interviewed me as his anime expert about a little bit about Detective Conan because it was referenced in Terrace House that one of the characters was going to go on a date to go see the new Detective Conan movie and why they were all embarrassed about that. And he was like, "Hey, can you explain to me what Detective Conan is and why someone would be embarrassed about going on a date to see it if they're in their early 20s?" And I was like, "Yes, I can explain that. I can give you some context, and I can tell you where you can watch it streaming because that's Decider." So that was fun, but it was also very fun to be considered an anime expert. I'm trying to think if there's any other. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble with this piece, so we'll get this going here. If there's any other shows that I'm like, oh, this mostly, I think I started to try to say this. I mostly just want more of the shows I like. I'd like to see more seasons of shows because I know the manga goes on, and that's I think honestly what I want is like I want more New Game. I want more Flying Witch. Oh, I so want more Flying Witch. Please, please more Flying Witch. I know there's more of the manga. Give me more of that. I believe there's more of the manga. I think that would be awesome. I don't know. I don't know what's up in my head. But mostly it's just like, yeah, I want more of the stuff that already exists and seems like we'll never get another season of it because it came and went and did its business and we're good. Uh, I want more Amaru-chan, but I know the manga doesn't do it. But I want Ebina, to meet her, to find her brother. Because I just want her to have a happy ending because she's the best. This is a lovely, wonderful girl. Part of the reason she's in the big city is to find her brother, and she never does. And one another character actually meets him, and it definitely met him, but doesn't acknowledge it or realize it. And it's just like, oh man, what if she got to meet her brother? Got to run into her brother. It's a very, very weird thing. But I don't even think they did that in the anime. Or in the manga. So I need an anime form of Yotsuba to be good watch these days. Okay. Yeah. I hear you. I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay, so we got to put this goes into the head here. Goes into the antenna here on the head, or near the antenna. This goes in and then folds down. Get these to stick in there. And then it clips in. So why don't we'll clip this. We'll go reverse. We're going to clip this here. Then we got to feed these in. So we'll do it one at a time. Feed this in. Try to get these in here. I can see these popping out all the time and being very annoying. This might be something I just like try to glue in on my own time because I bet these are going to be very annoying to get to stay in. But we'll try. We'll try this a couple times and then we'll give up and I'll just do it on my own time when I have more time to do it. Okay, these went in. And then this bends down, goes in here. Oops, the head comes off. That's not good. Alright, so it goes in like that. And then this clips on. There we go. That's the backpack. Goes on like that with its one rocket, which is red, which I like. Um, I don't like remakes, to be honest. Those memories belong there. So to me, I love that we got a new modern Hunter x Hunter. Now, was it as violent as some of the Hunter x Hunter stuff? Is some of that better? Yes. Was Hunter x Hunter treated roughly the first time around, and did they get to tell the stories that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise? Yeah, and I think that that's awesome. Whereas the sequels didn't quite work, or they wouldn't have worked if they just did the next chapter, because the other version of what happened, they caught up to the manga. That classic problem, and I think it was better off just rebooting it later. So I do like that. I like that got rebooted. I think that is awesome. Um, I would be up. Would you be up for One Piece Kai that streamlines the show a bit? I don't know. I don't think that that's how Ona works. I don't think he operates streamlined. I also don't think that. Yeah, I don't see them doing a One Piece Kai. Um, yeah, I just don't see it happening. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it needs it. I think it is. I think part of it is that it is this giant, ridiculous thing. I will say, who the fuck asked for uh, uh, this horror? There's a reboot coming next season of Higurashi, uh, and who the fuck asked for that reboot? Who asked for the island where horrible things happen to kids on repeat? Who the fuck was like, we got to bring that show back? You know what we need to do? Do that show again. Why? Why? Why are they bringing that back? They are. It's next season, I think. Why are they doing this? They don't need to do this. We don't need to see that anymore. I don't know why they're bringing it back. Was it a bad version? Was the first anime not up to snuff and they're like getting a second chance at it? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not that's not a rhetorical question. I don't know. But yeah, they're bringing that back. Redoing it this next season. Don't know why. I will not be watching it, as I did not enjoy it the first time and stopped watching after a while. Thankfully, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Well, now they can update their when when anime characters fight back against bullies thing, because that's at least one of those scenes is in that one of those compilations on YouTube, so then they can update it with new art. But yeah, I don't need that in my life. All right, we're almost body complete with this kit. We're about to wrap up the stream for the night. Thanks everybody for watching. So on Saturday, we will continue this kit by putting together the weapons, because we have to build the weapons for this. That thing came off. That's fine. But there's not a lot of weapons for this. We've got we got to build the wings too. So we've got to build the butterfly wings for the backpack, and then we got to build the weapons. So we only have one thing left, some stuff left to do, and then what's a gun without weapons? Indeed, right? And then Ogre's GNX. His name is Ogre. It's his GNX. He's Ogre, so he's got his Ogre. Look at those blades. Those are cool blades. Good colors. The purple instead of the green because it's build. Oh, it's good. It's a good kit. We're gonna work on that next. But right now, what we're gonna do is I am gonna pick someone to raid, because we got some friends here in the stream, and we want to share the love by going and finding somebody else to go check out and seeing what they're up to, and then we can join them and hang out. Let's see. Okay, I think we're going to go. We did Spooky not too long ago. I kind of don't want to do Spooky. I love Mary Kish. I wish she didn't always just play the scary stuff that I don't want to watch because I think she's awesome. But we're not going to go raid Mary. We are going to go raid Xandra. Uh, Xandra is love, and we're going to go give her a raid. She did all my cool emotes. And she's playing a Dark Souls 2 randomizer. So that rules. Thursdays are spooky nights. Yes, Lord Crashington. I do know that. But I just I don't want to watch the Silent Hill stuff. So we're going to go give Xander a raid because this is cool. I like the randomizers. I think they're sweet. So please come along on the raid if you'd like. You're not obliged to. My next build stream is Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to put some wings on this thing and some weapons, wings and weapons. And then we will work on a new kit after that. Thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next stream, and let's go on a raid. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.